Thanks for tuning into my talk. I'd like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to speak. So I'll be talking about constructing and computing invariants of Lagrangian spheres in the standard context 5 sphere. I acknowledge the support and encouragement from my advisor, John Etnayer, without whom this project would not have been possible. So we're interested in the standard contact structure in S5. This is the contact structure that's induced when we look at S5 as the convex boundary of this standard symplectic ball. So this contact structure admits an open book decomposition where the pages are the 4 ball and the monodromy is the identity. The binding is S3, and this is the boundary of the page. So we want to construct Lagrangian spheres in the 5 sphere. So what we want as input are, we're given a Lagrangian slice knot in the standard 3 sphere, which is the binding of the 5 sphere in this open book, and it bounds a decomposable Lagrangian disk. So given that information, we can see the Lagrangian in the page as so. So what we can do is we can stabilize the open book along K, which means that the pages are modified by adding a 2 handle along K, and the monodromy is changed by a right-handed Dane-Seidel twist along the sphere we just created. The contact structure on the manifold does not change, so the supported open book and the contact structure supported by it is contactomorphic to the standard one on for the 5 sphere. So these are the spheres we are interested in. We'll call them DK union CK, where DK stands for the disk in the Lagrangian disk that K bounds, and CK stands for the core of the 2 handle attached along K. And this is a Lagrangian sphere in the page, which can be perturbed to give a Lagrangian in the 5 sphere. So these are the ones we're interested in studying. And we want to compute invariance for that. So the way we want to do that is we want to find a way to find a front projection for these spheres. So how do we do that? Well, there's sort of 2 constructions of Lagrangian spheres you can think of inside S5, given a knot that bounds a decomposable disk. The first is what we just discussed. The second is consider the original open book we had and consider the disks it bounds in 2 separate pages. They are Lagrangians in the pages, and they can be perturbed to give another Lagrangian sphere in S5. So the theorem that I have proved is that the sphere we describe here is actually isotopic to the sphere we describe here as the double of the disks in different pages. They're Lagrangian isotopic. So how does the proof work? The idea of the proof is, firstly, you want to see these 2 spheres in the same contact manifold. Once you stabilize, what you get is that you get 2 contactomorphic S5s with this, but what you want to do is sort of see the 2 spheres in the same manifold. And so we described stabilizing as removing and regluing a ball, which allows us to isotope these out of the ball and sort of see both of them in the same contact manifold. This step generalizes an idea that Vertesi and Licata talked about in their paper about foliated open books. It generalizes that idea from 3 dimensions to higher dimensions. So once we have that description of stabilization and see both of them in the same manifold, what we do is we isotope part of this sphere across sort of what we can think of as a surgery torus that comes when we can see the Dane-Seidel twist as really a surgery, and we can isotope that across this surgery torus to the disk. And so that allows us to then compute the invariance for this sphere. If you remove a point from S5, you get it in R5. And since these are decomposable Lagrangians, we can isotope them really close to the page so that their front projection exactly are given by the decomposable disk. And using an idea of Ekholm, we can calculate the Lagrangian contact homology invariance of these spheres. These are invariants that were defined by Shekhanov and Ilyashberg in dimension 1 and generalized to higher dimensions by Ekholm, Etnayer, and Sullivan. As a corollary to this, we actually find an infinite family of mutually non-isotopic, pairwise non-isotopic spheres inside the 5-sphere that are given by this construction, and they're distinguished by the Lagrangian contact homology invariance. All right, thank you for listening.